What is up, everybody?
Mike's not on.
Mike's not on.
Yeah,
You also don't have your jacket on. You don't have your other one on.
it is on.
Oh. That's my incognito. So yeah, check it.
You guys hear us?
Tam was hiding from the paparazzi.
It's when he goes to Hobby Lobby.
That's my Hobby Lobby jacket. Right?
First time member here, says Jen. What's up, Jen?
What's up, Jen?
Glad you're here.
And that's Jan B. Now
Jen B, now Jen Brennan.
Brennan, which is awesome.
Welcome, guys. I feel like we were just here.
We were just here.
Bro, has it even been, it's been like what?
11
12 hours?
11 hours.
Wanda's
11
so
hours.
excited. It's my first club day event. Good morning from
Guys.
Augusta, Georgia. Welcome, Wanda.
Here's my goal with today's club, okay? First of all, we've got a special...
Rochelle, whoa, pause. Rochelle's first time. How many of you guys, this is your first time watching the live version of So Yeah Club Online?
Or anything can happen.
Georgia's first, Jen's first, pretty much all the people with the black sewing machine. Oh, but there's other ones too that are just watching it for the first time for live though, right? Because some people don't get it
Yeah.
live every time.
Mm-hmm.
First time, me, wonderful,
of you guys.
good. Carol
There's
got
a
black
lot of
machine.
people that
in
will
there.
watch this as a rerun. Totally okay.
Wendy's
right?
got her little rooster emoji. Like, for real, guys? Like, you guys are up early. Jody, first time. Jody, did you get my text? Did you text Jody last night? Okay, great. Perfect.
We're up early, guys. It's 8 o'clock. Days
We're
are
not
already
up
rolling.
early.
Guys, I already picked the garden.
This isn't early.
Just kidding.
Got here later than we normally.
Although I didn't get to bed till like 1 something last night.
I got to bed at like midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got home yesterday.
I had rabbits and stuff to do last
Shine
night.
was so funny. I get home. I text her, you need anything? No. I get home, and she's like, yeah, I'm just starving. I'm like,
My wife
for
exactly
real?
the same, dude.
For real, I passed 17 fast food
Right.
joints to get there.
Same thing. I was at the Suncoast last night, or not the Suncoast, the Santa Fe at like midnight getting capriati's for ladies.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also went on a wild goose chase for something for the retreat last night. I went to 4 different stores.
What could you have been looking for?
I can't tell you. It's for the farmer's market.
Oh.
A platypus.
Yeah, farmer's market. 4 different stores. And I went to the furthest one away from So Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because it was close to home. And they didn't have it, so I came to the next one. And the next one, I ended up right here, down the street. I'm like, I should have started there, worked my way that way.
At Cal Ranch.
No, I did go to right next to Cal Ranch for one of the things.
All right, guys, let's
So-
dive on into this. Let's explain to you guys what's going to happen
Before
today.
we do that, I'm going to say that every time you talk. Before we do that. No, before we do that, really, though. Before we do that, does anybody have any membership questions? Any membership questions?
And we got a little special thing for our members, too, today.
We have like a extra special thing.
We got a couple extra special things.
Everything's
I've got
special.
a special thing I've been working on for the members.
Any membership questions? Then Ramey's gonna do a little special something. I'm gonna post it for you guys.
I can post it. I have it up.
You ready to post it?
Yeah.
No, don't do it yet.
Alright.
All right, give it to him. There's no questions.
Morning, didn't we just say goodnight? Exactly. Okay, so guys, Ramey has figured out how to send you a text for a members only live.
Only if you sign up for it. It's an opt-in.
You have to
option.
opt in on this, okay? So go ahead and post it, Ramey, and you guys can take your time on this, okay? Everybody go slow. So you're not gonna put this in the chat, okay?
So you're going to pull out your cell phone, type in 844.
Or just right now, screenshot.
type
Just
in
screenshot this.
844-518.
Bonnie says, I got a text. You did not
That's
get a text, friend.
possible.
0246.
You did not get a text.
And you just text,
YouTube might have
Member
notified
to
her.
it.
YouTube
Yeah.
notified you, yeah.
and that's it.
So you're gonna screenshot this. So you can do it later, or if you're working watching on your computer, your iPad, you grab your
Or
phone.
take 2 seconds.
You're
This
gonna
is
type in
super important.
844-518-0246, and you're gonna put the word member. That's it. Not hi guys.
And this
Just
is,
member.
anything coming from this text messaging channel is member only.
Members only content.
Okay, so you're welcome.
Okay.
And if you unsubscribe from being a member, you'll also have to unsubscribe from being
From the
a
text, because they're not
we,
connected.
And we really can't unsubscribe you from the text. You have to, I think, put stop.
You have to put
and
stop,
it
yeah.
stops.
Yeah.
Hard. But guys,
Okay.
we are on a
We're on a time crunch, so let's get
little
started.
bit of a time crunch today because our services for General
Start at
Conference
9.
start at 9. But we're going to start off with one of our dear friends. So Leslie Ryan was here last week.
Mm-hmm.
We filmed her demo that she was doing here in store.
Because let's just face it, she couldn't stay for 10 days.
And let's be honest, too, we also made it a little bit even better because with the magic of film, you
Yeah.
can do that. So we're going to let her do her demo first, which is not live, guys, so you can't ask her questions.
Yeah.
But we had her live last week. And so she's going to do her little demo. In addition to that, I've got a demo with batiks, and Brody's got a demo with some starches.
Mhm.
Now, also, down in the description, is that where the link is for everything?
Yep.
Down in the description is a link to our website that will house all the product. You know, Leslie Ryan's kits. We've got the different kind of best presses and things like that. Lots of fun things. Batiks, solids, they're all on sale. So batiks are 20% off, solids are 20% off, and starches today are 20% off by using your coupon code SYCO at checkout, and then that deal will be applied. Now, one little caveat there.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Is your free gift with purchase, you have to add that to your cart. Okay, it's the very first thing that pops up. You hit add to your cart, then you go shopping. Now, if you just get the free gift, you will be charged shipping.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to understand that. It's like, you might as well buy a yard or two.
Yeah.
To help compensate.
And guys, so just a reminder, we've tried this multiple ways because obviously we still only started this at,
this is
beginning of the
number
year.
4.
You have to check out that free gift. Like, put it in your cart, walk through the process of checking out. Because if not, it doesn't, when we print out your invoice, like when your packing slip, it doesn't say you used SYCO, which we thought it did originally. That's how we were getting gifts in people's orders. So this way, like, it shows as an item, it says So Yeah Club online free gift. That way we can see, like, oh, this is a club member. We grab the gift, we put it in, and then we fill your order.
Which, I mean, if you don't buy something and get that gift today, you're going to miss out because you're going to hear about it next week when we show it, and people are like, wow.
Okay,
Crazy. So,
guys, that's the schedule looks like for today. We're going to have Leslie Ryan first, then Tiancum, then me, and is that how it's going, or me and then you?
doesn't matter.
And then that'll be it for the day, and you guys will get to see that. So I like those chickens on the quilt. Are they all going in the same direction? Yep.
Well, you're saying that will be it, as in, like, national teacher.
Yeah, that'll be it. As in, you'll have a national teacher that we flew out here from Nebraska. You get game-changing information from Tiancum about batiks, and then you're going to get game-changing information from me about starches. So, just saying. Everybody ready for our first demo? We'd like to present Leslie Ryan.
So let me go like this.
Hi everyone, my name is Leslie Ryan with Blooming Boldly Designs. I am a pattern designer and a fabric designer for Riley Blake Designs. Today I'm going to show you how to make the Flutterbee quilt. He's one of my favorites, actually named after my daughter. So we're first going to start, it's actually made up of 2 blocks. We're going to start with the butterfly block first. This is the top butterfly wing. We are going to sew a large square to one corner and then a small square to the other corner. We mark a line corner to corner. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to sew, and I know the pattern and everybody says to sew directly on the line, but I like to sew directly to the right of the line, just that one extra thread, so that when you fold that back for our stitch and flip corner, the fold will be directly on the line and we won't lose any of our corner. Same with the other side, just so that we can make sure that those stay square. The top portion, this is a pretty big square, it's 3.5 inches, so I sew down the diagonal and then I also turn around and I sew about 1/2 inch away from that seam. So what's going to happen is we're going to cut down the middle of that, so there's a 1/4 inch seam on both this guy and the butterfly wing. What that's going to do is it's going to give us half square triangles, and by the time we get done with this quilt, that's going to give us 32 half square triangles that we can then make a pillow or something that will coordinate with our beautiful butterfly quilt. And then we are going to do the same thing with the bottom corner to corner on both of those. When you do stitch, you're going to cut it about 1/4 inch away from that seam, and then you're going to flip that over. So once we do that, those are going to be our 2 pieces for our butterfly block, right? Those are going to be our wings. What we're going to do is we're just going to sew a spacer on that bottom wing so that it lines up with the top wing, and then we're going to end up with 2 of these halves. One thing to note on those wings, so these ones that I made right here, they are non-directional, right? So it doesn't matter which way we turn our fabric, it's going to be okay, it's going to look fine. On a print that is directional, like this guy here, my triangles, you're going to notice a difference in those wings if you don't orient them the same way. Like we just made these separate. When I go to make something that has that orientation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those squares and I'm going to lay them out the way the butterfly lays in the quilt, stitch down this side and then stitch down this side so that we can make sure that those wings and that fabric all goes in the same direction so we have a beautiful butterfly in the end. So that is the wings. For the body, to go in the middle of that butterfly, it's really the exact same process. This whole quilt is just stitch and flip, and then we add some spacers. So this is the butterfly body. We're going to stitch and flip 2 opposite corners. It doesn't matter which 2. I typically do the top right and bottom left. We stitch and flip those, and we will get something like this. We are then going to add 2 more corners, stitch and flip those on the opposite ends, and that is going to give us a butterfly body. So once we do that, once we have that finished butterfly body, all we're going to do is add a rectangle to the top and a rectangle to the bottom, and then that's going to be our body. So our butterfly is made up of just these 3 pieces. We're going to sew this line on both sides of the body. We are then going to attach just some small spacers to both sides of that wing so that once we put those butterflies and those flowers together, they're going to have a little bit of room to fly. So we're going to add spacers here and then 1 to the top as well, and then that's our finished butterfly. We're going to make 16 of those. So once we get our 16 butterflies done, we are essentially going to do the same process with our flowers. They are also stitch and flip. We need 1 background corner that we're going to sew to 1 corner. We're going to cut that off. These are the flower centers that we're going to put on that top left corner. Stitch and flip him, and then this is going to be our finished unit. We're going to grab 4 of those that are matching to make a single flower block. From that, we are going to add just a little spacer, the same one that we added to our butterfly wings. So if we add those 3 together, now the thing to note on our flower block is that our flowers are just oriented in different directions. So 2 go up, and then the flower goes down in the middle, just so they aren't all in a line. Give us some nice movement. And then to that, we are just going to add a couple rectangles of background. Stitch all those, and then we're going to add this to the top, and then that is going to be our block number 2. Once you have your butterfly blocks and your flower blocks ready to go, then you are ready to assemble. So you're going to do them in columns. So butterfly, flowers, you're going to do that 4 times for 4 different columns. When you do sew those together, 1 row the butterflies are going to go up, and then 1 row the butterflies are actually going to face down, just to give a little bit of movement and move those flowers down. You can see on the quilt beside me over here that the butterflies are going up and down, just again, so like they're flying in your garden. Once we do that, we are just going to add some sashing in between those columns of blocks, and then we add a little bit of a border, and then we're ready to quilt it. So these are our blocks that we had made before. We've got our butterfly and our flowers. The spacers on everything, they are going to go up. You can see on this quilt. So butterfly goes up, and then your spacer just attaches to the bottom of there. So there's our butterfly. Our flowers are going to do that. You're going to do that in 4 different columns, as you can see. You can see these guys are going up, these guys are going down, like they're having a party in the garden. Once we get our rows, we're going to sew 4 columns together, right? Our blocks will be in 4 columns, and then we are going to add our sashing pieces here, and then we'll add our border. And again, like on these blocks, we're not really lining anything up really, so which makes it even easier. I feel like it would be a great place to start. And if you wanted to make a smaller quilt, you could certainly make just 6 or 9 blocks or something like that for a kid if you wanted. With this quilt here, on this one, I used, it's called Sassy and Tweet from Expressions Boutiques by Riley Blake Designs. It is such a fun collection with all of the colors, and I chose to put it on the blue background just so it looked like they were in the sky. Just a little bit different, a little bit of fun. All right, thank you so much for joining me on our little demo of the Flutterbee quilt. My name again is Leslie Ryan of Blooming Boldly Designs. You can find me on my website at bloomingboldlydesigns.com. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook. I have lots of patterns, lots of inspiration for you. I really want to share my love of quilting with the world and with you, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch my demo. We'll see you next time.
Right?
That's what I'm talking about,
That was
right?
her first ever recorded anything, and
Yeah,
so like
she was nervous.
She did awesome. She did absolutely awesome with the demos. And guys, we have her Flutterbee quilt kit available, and her other quilt, which was in the background on the left, called Metaphor.
Metaphor was her first ever
They're
quilt.
both available on that link down in the description.
Made out
below.
of her
New
brand
line.
new fabric collection. So guys,
In addition, her brand new lines there too.
Zach, go ahead and post the link there real fast for everybody so they can. I think you just texted. You texted me. Okay, so just put the link in there, Zach. So guys, the link to the website. Now, you're gonna click on this link. It's also in the description, so we can keep watching the demos and everything else. Okay. Down in the description below, you'll see that. Now, that we have a lot of products on sale today. Okay, so if you click on this link,
boutiques,
there's like 40
all of our
pages of
solids.
40 pages of products. Boutiques are on sale, solids are on sale. Leslie Ryan's collection, as well as her products, are on there. Her
Kits.
2 kits. Guys, we already put the kits at a discount price, so they're not going to come up as 20% off.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just going to come up. They're $100 for each one of the kits. Those aren't on sale. And then her collection as well is already. It's brand new.
It's
and
selling
it's
close
on
right now
there.
for 13 something.
And I think it's on there for like 11 something. So those aren't gonna. When you type in the SYCO discount code, those aren't gonna discount. They're already discounted on there. But the boutiques will, the solids will, and then the starches will.
And get your free gift.
And get your free gift.
And just shout out to her.
But one
for
last
coming.
thing I wanted to say. So when you're clicking on this, on the left-hand side, there's a filter. You can filter out like what you're looking for because there's so many
Solids.
products on there. So if you're looking
Boutiques.
for solids, click on this link, and then on the left-hand side, click. Oh, I want to look at solids or boutiques or starches or Leslie Ryan, whatever it is.
And
Okay?
it's really easy. The
So-
button says filter.
So huge shout out to Leslie Ryan for being here for this event. Now, next up, are you next or am I next?
Whatever one. We're just.
You plugged in?
I'm always.
Go ahead. Go. You can go. Tianka will go next. So Tianka will go next. He's gonna be talking about boutiques,
Correct.
and then I will be jumping in after that. So you can click on that link and start shopping, or you can just keep watching. And for Kate G that asked, so this wasn't a members only thing, but we did the Totally Spring pattern with orange dot when we were at Scrap Apple like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay. The laser cut for that is $60. We also are putting it on here.
Just
You
as
can
a
check it out
increase.
just in case. Like I know we missed it. Jody, we talked last night, and she was able to get it. But I didn't end up with my invoice from last night. She says, "Jody, just go ahead and do this. Just check it out today, and we'll be okay." Okay. So, anyways, go ahead, Tatum. You're up next.
So, guys, my demo here, let Brody slide out of here, is about boutiques. More so the, let me grab my prop here. More so about the actual how we get boutiques, how they're made. In addition to, a lot of people are making boutiques these days. It's getting more and more popular once more, which we are excited about. So, I'm going to do my demo in essentially 3 parts, guys. I've got a little video that I'm going to interrupt as the video goes on about the boutiquing process, okay? Not only that, we're going to talk about how it's made, and then we're going to talk about some of the new designs, some of the new things coming out with boutiques in general. Now, the very first thing that I want to show everyone is this right here, and I'm going to go to camera 3 as well so everyone can see it. This is a chop of one of the most famous designs in the boutique world. This is they call them the Daisy chop. Now there's been many iterations of this chop, but this right here is like the lifeblood of the boutique world. Now, essentially speaking, and we're about to watch a video on this, everything in the boutique world is manually done, except for the weaving of the fabric, okay? They process the fabric, they weave the fabric. After that point, it is manually done. And I really don't like the term handmade in the sense of there's lots of things that we say, oh, it's handmade. But we never stop to think, no, wait, that is hand done. The time, the effort, the blood, sweat, and tears that go into some of these products is way more than what we possibly could imagine. In addition to, the process itself is very labor intensive. And I've always said this is if you watch any video online where they take you to the mills of these places for boutiques especially, you'll notice that we'll use Indonesia for example here. Most of the people are shorter than Americans, okay? That's not a jab, that's not anything.
That's facts.
It's just a fact. They're smaller than Americans on average. However, you'll see that they are some of the most jacked people because our industry is very, very heavy, okay? The fabric's heavy. This chop here weighs almost 3 pounds, okay? So everything is heavy in our industry. So let me go grab my computer here so we can start watching a video. And I'm going to put this so I can see and you guys can see all at the same time. And it has some background music that we're going to eliminate as well a little bit here. So let me just put this here. Okay. So I'm going to be pausing this video as the video is going so I can explain each process. I'm only going to take about 1 or 2 minutes to explain each process. Also, understand one thing about Indonesia in general. They're one of the highest producing countries of cotton, okay? Because of that, they have a cotton supply that is massive. And the reason why they've been able to do so much with cotton is because the supply and demand, right? So let's dive on into this. Let me go over to camera here and here. And I'm going to turn on this video. And guys, this is a video that's on YouTube. However, it's done by one of the people that we buy from, so we're allowed to use it. So, I'm going to pause here. I'm trying to get my cursor out of the way. This is one of the only parts that is not manual. However, they have to string each and every fiber by hand, and then it's put into a weaving machine, which is this machine right here, okay? And the weaving machine is going to weave fabric at a veloso rate comparative to the human, right? Now, this part is one that I have to stop at. This is what a chop looks like. This is what this piece that I showed you guys right at the very beginning looks like originally. It is all made out of copper, 100% handmade designs, okay? They're 100% handmade, and they are placed by hand, soldered by hand. Everything about this is handmade to make this one design. So I'm gonna flip back over to this camera. So this very intricate design is 100% man-made. The outer rim, the actual pieces, everything is hand done. But we also say handmade as in, oh, you know, they went in there and put it in there. No, they physically bent every last piece, put it in, soldered it into place, handmade, okay? Going back to the video here. And you can see them putting it into a chop, and that's the name of it. It's called a chop. And they're using those little teeny pieces of metal to make up the design. A chop can take up to 2 weeks to make, okay, if they're fast. Now, the dyeing process seems very quickly, but again, all by hand. Oh, shoots. I clicked the wrong camera, guys. Let me go backwards.
Right there.
There we go. So, all of this is done by hand. You can see them making the chop right there. And they're putting it all in by hand. Okay? Now, one of those is going to take up to 2 weeks to make. Even longer for some of the intense ones. Now, the dyeing process. Again, as you can see here. By hand. Now, this is the part that I really want to stop everyone at, because this is where it's wild to me. Obviously, look, they're in Indonesia. Weather's a little different, and they have monsoon seasons and all that. I'm going to pause it right here. That design is being laid down by hand. It's the reason why in batiking, you can see patterns that are not exactly lined up perfectly, because the name of the game is obviously... The name of the game will be speed, in the sense of the more you can crank out, the more you're going to get paid. In addition to that, you have to keep it accurate. These people are some of the most steady hands. But think about it, guys. Take a 3-pound weight. They're going to dip this into wax. Go 1 and 2 presses. Dip this in wax. 1 and 2 presses. Dip it in wax. 15 yards at a time. Over and over and again, and you can see how strong these people really are. It is amazing. If this came to the United States, it would be at least $24 a yard. If batiking came to the United States, we would take the man-made out of it, right? That's the thing that's so amazing, is that this is traditional goods here. Now, they're putting wax on this product. The wax is designed for when they do the next dyeing process. Anywhere that has wax won't get dyed. And then they'll boil out all the wax, and then they will stamp it again and boil out all the wax up to 15 times. That's the max that the fabric can take. Most batiks, though, are normally 4 to 7 times dyed and chopped, if they have chops on them. So you can see there, wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. The whole bit of this is wax on, wax off, with those beautiful clean lines there. Then they go to re-dye once more. So they're going to re-dye the fabric, now that has the wax on it. Let it, drip dry. They don't have modern day machinery like the United States does. Now they let it dry in the fields, and they can do a bunch of different processes here. Right now they're going to do marbling, and so they're scrunching everything up to do marbling on top of that batik. But we've always made it very clear that this material, and I'll pause it here, is dried by God, right? These are out in fields being dried during the
Walking
dry
around
season.
chickens.
Now pause here. There's a monsoon season as well. The monsoon season, their production goes almost to nothing. Then the dry season hits, and then they start producing batiks at a colossal
I
rate.
wonder what they play during that time. Like, they just
Soccer.
They're playing cards, like playing cards until
Right?
like, waiting for the rain.
Well, and also, I'm going to just back up 15 seconds in this video. Watch this guy's hand movement, okay? Once you've done something forever, you're just like the king at it.
It's like making an empanada.
It's like making anything, right? Grandma's recipe type deal. I want everyone to watch this because it's impressive to me. His spread, he is currently putting salt on this, which is part of the marbling process, which I'm not going to get into the super details of everything, but look at the little hand flick he's got going on here. He doesn't miss.
It
Side to
covers
side.
The whole thing, no more, no less.
Okay, these guys are impressive. Then they are going to go through their final dye, their final wash, and then they begin to do inspection. Okay, now inspection, it's out in the wild, so holes can be punched, things can be on it. So they have a little sickle there. They're using light boards to see for holes, imperfections, things like that. But I need to pause here. Imperfection, as in holes, tears, blotches,
Pulled fabrics.
pulled fabrics, torn fabrics, not imperfections in the stamping, because that's part of the look of what we love, right? Is it's handmade. They're looking for an imperfection in the actual material. So they use light boards, and then they're going to start hang drying it, and these can dry for weeks, guys. Weeks and weeks on end before it goes to a double and roll machine. So they're going to be rolling on tube here. So they're going to take all the fabric and roll it on a tube, normally up to about 50 yards. Then they will be shipped to overseas or to us and be double enrolled here in the United States, or sometimes they are double rolled overseas. So double enroll means they take it from 44 wides and roll it onto a bolt to be 20 inches wide, folded in half, right? Then in some facilities, very, very recently, they've gotten large cutting machines to cut our strips and our squares and all those kinds of things, which is a very technical process now. But from beginning to end, it's manual, right? This is a manual labor thing, which then you end up with beautiful product just like this, with that chop there as well. So I'm going to bring the camera back over here. The batiking process is 100% a man-made product, okay? We can say, oh, well, they're not weaving the fabric anymore, which if they did, it would make it astronomical in price. And they're not cutting the fabric anymore by hand. Okay, that's true. But the dyeing, the drying, the rolling, all of that is 100% man-made, man labor. And the reason why I would like to point that out is we see something like this and we're like, oh yeah, this is what they use, and they chop it. And that seems like, okay, that's cool. No, they chop thousands of yards with this one chop. Now, additionally, these chops have a life expectancy on them. They normally don't go through more than 5 to 10 runs of fabric before this is broken, right? Because these are tiny little pieces of metal that someone's taking, and you saw them go like this, and then they go to the next one, right? They have this little thing. I asked about it because I've seen a lot of different videos and a lot of things. Everyone does that. They all put it down, right? The reason being is if they break it, your day's work is over, right? So they're careful with these things, but they also understand that they have a life
When
expectancy.
they're each one handmade. Like, that's the crazy thing.
Handmade.
How do you get that perfectly flat?
Yeah.
How do you get it where it doesn't move? How do you...
It's amazing to me. It's amazing to me. Just the whole process in general is amazing. And guys, it's the thing about our industry in particularly is that, and most of America, right? We're consumer based. So because we've been consumer based for so long, we forget that there's actually a factory where people are stamping and doing this whole process, which is just amazing every single time. Now, I can go on and on about batiks for way too long, but I've got about 2 more minutes of time, so I want to show you guys something. We love batiks. Leslie Ryan loves batiks. This quilt behind me, this chicken quilt, which also is just funny in general because you'll find little kind of crusties on batiks sometimes. That's either wax or chicken poop. It could be either. So I love batiks. Now I want to show you guys this. Back in last year, I don't know when last year, but back last year at some point, we got approached by Riley Blake Designs to come out with a batik line. And we said, absolutely, right? Because we love our batiks. So we have plant-based. This is not launching until June, guys. But we want to make sure you guys know that it's out there. Plant-based is beautiful. Rami hand drew pretty much all the designs with the help of Riley Blake. And we want to show you some of our work here. And also, we went ahead and partnered with Riley Blake Designers for their patterns. Now, plant-based was the introduction to us of Leslie Ryan. Okay? And so, these are some of the patterns that are going to be coming out. This is the main one that everyone's been shown so far. But I want to show you guys our top-selling one so far. Top-selling means quilt stores are buying it. So just got some beautiful options here. And guys, we went ahead and partnered with, what is her name? Villa Rosa Designs. Help keep your prices down, right? Now, everyone recognize this quilt right here? So we got a call. We called Riley Blake, and they're like, you have to do it in this pattern. And we got a call from Leslie Ryan. That's how we actually ended up meeting Leslie Ryan. It's because her fabric line ended up coming with our fabric as well. So our fabric line, her pattern, which is awesome. Now I'm hoping to show you guys, these are just cutting instructions, right? And I'll try to zoom in on these. So plant-based is going to be a line that has lots of different kind of plants, garden vibes, but the color palette is...
It's like succulents.
The color palette is super, super bright. And I'm going to flip through, go back to the front page, ignore the flashing there.
We haven't even seen this collection yet in person.
Now, just as my finishing here, it was the most wild experience. It was the most wild experience doing the coloring of these products, okay? So Rami designed it, and then I was tasked with coloring, okay? Now, coloring was wild to me in the sense of they don't have color names in Indonesia, in the sense of I want forest green, okay? Well, forest green would have to be something that they have in that country to reference it, right? They don't have forest there. They have jungle green. They don't have forest green. And so what they do is you take paint chips, essentially, and you send it into Riley Blake, and Riley Blake then sends it into the manufacturing plant. And then they say, okay, these are your kind of color palette, and they try to then create the color in their dyes. Okay, so it's not baby pink. It's, I want you to try to mimic this. Okay, then they start dyeing it using your color palette. Okay, and they say they assign each chip a number. So your blue is number 1, and your pink's number 2, and your purple's number 3, or whatever. And then they start throwing ink down, throwing dye down, essentially, making these designs in color combos that you could never possibly think of, and the mixture of those tones they just start doing, okay? And then it's up to us to put those colors together and say, I really like this color combo, but I want it on this print. And I never thought that it was going to be pink, purple, green, but I want you to mix the purple and the green to achieve this color, right? They are like color theorists and experts at it, which is amazing. But it's a back and forth process of dye this, approval, they send us, you have to have the actual raw material here. Okay, I like this, send it back, it comes back. It's a full process, and it's absolutely amazing to be a part of. Now, there's a, can I get my color card that's right there on the edge of the table? It's from Riley Blake. Not only that, the concept of just color and having to stay consistent with the color is amazing. It's the other one. It's in the little baggie. This is another color card. And with Riley Blake becoming more and more like a force to be reckoned with as far as the batik world, they've just launched one more product, which we won't be getting for another couple months, but you guys will just know how much love and effort goes into this product, okay? from our team, from Riley Blake's team, even to the manufacturer. So let me pull this out. This right here is now the Riley Blake color card for they call them solids, but they're actually marbles. Look how pretty that is. Every color, every hue. You're seeing this more and more, and the batik game is coming back, which we're super, super happy about. Now, in my last closing thing, which is what also makes this just amazing every single time, is that the people of Indonesia, obviously you saw some of their facilities, dirt floors, open air, AC, right? The people who do batiks are taken care of by Riley Blake, by Hoffman, by Anthology, in the sense of normal daily wage in Indonesia, if you are a part of the batiking process, is 2 to 3 times that. They take care of their people. And so because of that, they take pride in their work. They make sure it's the premium product. And I just appreciate companies that are taking care of people, even if they're not, even if it's not just a US-based company. They're trying to take care of their people, whether they're in Indonesia, in Korea, any of those facilities. They heavily, heavily take care of, which we're so happy about. And they do a lot of good in those areas as well. So that's the end of my demo here, guys. We appreciate you. For all of our batik lovers out there, you're going to see a lot more coming. For all of you who didn't know about batiks, now you just know a little bit more. And hopefully next time you walk through a quilt store and pass by them, you're like...
I know how those are made.
I know how those things are made, and they're amazing, right? So, Brody's up next. And again, all of our batiks are 20% off. Why not while we're here? So, let's give it away to Brody next, okay?
All right, guys. So, we've learned about Leslie Ryan. We've learned about batiks. Now, my demo is a little bit different than from other demos we've done in the past. So, today we're talking about starches. Now, everybody's probably like, oh, this might not be for me. It's for you, okay? I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to talk about the different starches that are in the market, why you should use them, why you shouldn't use them, etc., etc. This is not a lecture. This is like a back and forth between me and you guys. So tell me, first of all, how many of you use starches on a regular basis? Whether you're using Best Press, you're using Quilt and Craft Spray, using some kind of a flow starch, anything like that. Acorn is one of them. Lots of you. Okay. So, lots of people. Pretty regular, says Anafe. Okay, now everybody pause. Everybody pause. Okay. How many of you have never used starch before? Okay. How many of you have not used starch? Okay. Lots of people haven't used starch as well. Okay. So, and now how many of you guys are like right in the middle? Just put in middle. Like sometimes I use them, sometimes I don't. Okay. We're going to talk about different starches and why to use them, when not to use them, etc., etc. So, for the group here, why do we use starches? Why do you use, if you use a starch all the time, why do you use it? Put in the chat why you use starch. And we're going to talk about it. And then I have we're going to go back and forth between a PowerPoint as well as a demo to show you the different starches. Tam, can you get that set up over here? I'm going to close this out here. Okay. To firm up fabrics, helps with cutting more body, makes fabric stiffer, less fraying, get wrinkles out, help with laying my seams flat, press my seams, precision cutting, better piecing. Okay, so we're going to talk about all those things. Those are all fantastic answers. Those are all right answers. In the past, okay, people have thought that starch, like Best Press, is used to add moisture to fabric to just remove wrinkles, okay? And that while it does that, starch is not used just for wrinkles, okay? And I'm going to tell you why it makes a difference and what makes a difference, why it makes a difference, okay? So, let me plug this in here. And is Tangam right there, Zach? Can you grab him? So, wrinkles is a great thing. When I was using it in the beginning of quilting, I would just like spray it on there, get my wrinkles out, move on, okay? But there's so much more to it than I'm going to turn on my iron so that we can get going here for the demo. Now, I'm going to tell you about 3 different products today. The first I'm going to tell you about is Best Press, which is probably what most of you use if you are using a spray starch of some kind. Then we're going to talk about Magic Quilting and Crafting Spray. And then lastly, we're going to talk about Terrio Magic. And Terrio Magic is one that you guys are going to get a kick out of. So let me get this pulled up here. I'm going to plug this in so that you're able to see my screen and be able to see my PowerPoint here that my assistant made because she's awesome. Okay, I'm just saying. All right, hang tight. Let me get this pulled up. Oops, wrong button. Right here. Okay, so there we go. And there we go. You guys see that? Okay, so Best Press, Quilting and Crafting Spray, and Terrio Magic, a quilter's guide to spray starches. Okay, this was on the agenda today. It's my brand new assistant that I've talked about. She went kind of overboard here on my I need you to put picture in picture on this and pull the chat up on this so I can see it. So she went a little overboard on our presentation here. So we're gonna do an introduction of them. We're gonna talk about key benefits and features, overview of the products, and then product comparison. Okay. So what is a spray starch? Red box there. It says it is an essential tool for quilters adding structure to the fabric without making it stiff or brittle, mostly brittle. It allows for smoother cutting, improved seam accuracy, and better handling of delicate fabrics. Okay. So that is the. I don't know why one of these boxes came up as empty here. Sorry about that. That is not showing right on your side. So that is why most people use a spray starch. Now, pretty much your bottom right corner is your, like, why would you use it? It improves the fabric handling, leads to more accuracy, piecing, and stitching, okay? So the first thing we're going to talk about, go to camera 1. Oh, I can do it here. Never mind. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is Best Press. Now, Best Press, like I said, Mary Ellen's Best Press is probably the #1 used spray starch in the industry. It's a clear starch with a fresh scent. They really like marketed on the, like, we want this to smell good as we're working, okay? So it gives a light stiffness to fabric for your general quilting, okay? Now, I'm going to show you how you apply Best Press. Is there anybody on here that's never used Best Press? I'm going to show you. Your assistant needs a raise. She did good, right? She did good. Especially because I was during the middle of a very, very busy time at Soya. And when is it not busy at Soya? I mean, really. And I was just like, hey, I need you to make this PowerPoint for me. And she said, no problem. And then like an hour later, sent it to me. Okay, so I am going to take a piece of fabric here. Of course, using the Soya ruler and rotary cutter. Okay. And I'm going to cut off like a 6-inch piece. Now, I buy it in the gallon size, Cynthia. So, what we're going to do here is I'm going to take this fabric and we're going to hit it with the Best Press. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to give it a little couple of squirts. Okay, grab your warm iron and press. Now, this demo is obviously really good in person because you can actually feel the fabrics and feel, you know, the difference that it makes in them. But let me hold this up now. I'm gonna have to do 2 of them so you can see the difference, okay? So Best Press is going to add just a tiny bit of body to your fabrics, okay? So look at this fabric right here. Now, look at this fabric here. Can you see? I don't know if you can see it on camera, but this right here has a little bit of extra body that this one does not have. See, this one almost looks like a sheet of paper, and this one you can't do that with. Okay? So it adds a tiny bit of body to your fabrics when you are doing your cutting and your sewing. Now, there's 2 different things in quilting that you do not add starch to. Does anybody know what they are? Mom, do you know what the first one is?
2 kinds of material, or are you saying
2 things in general. Quilting. We're talking about quilting. There's 2 things that you do not starch. Anybody know what they are?
batting?
Minky. Why not minky?
Because it's plastic.
Because it's polyester. Okay, it's polyester. Now, polyester is not going to absorb any of the starch. Okay, I had this genius idea a couple years ago. I'm going to tell you about it. Okay, genius idea. We're in the Minky and we're in the sewing industry. We're like, you know, these young entrepreneurs figuring things out.
We're gonna make
And I'm
it
like,
so much
dude,
better than everybody else.
Minky bath towels. Genius. Like, so I tried it, okay? Get this piece of Minky, flip and sew. Basically mom's blanket, flip and sew. And I'm like, big luxurious bath. Who wouldn't want to get out of the shower butt naked and put on a nice soft Minky, right? That was my idea behind it. What's the problem with that?
Minky doesn't absorb water.
Minky absorbs nothing, okay? So you're walking around with this slimy, furry thing on you. Okay, bad idea. Let's just say that was the end of testing, okay? So, Minky does not absorb it, okay?
The ShamWow was,
Now,
wasn't
for real. For real. Now, what is the second thing in the quilting industry that you do not use pre-cut? Or you do not use starch on?
Is it batting?
No.
Oh.
You can use it on batting. I don't know why you would, but...
I thought the question is
What's
like,
the second thing? Mom? Tell me. Don't be shy. What do you think? Wool? Nope. Flannel? Nope.
you can. They all
Silk?
absorb.
Nope. Zippers? I mean, Elena, that right there, pre-cuts. You do not use starch on pre-cuts. Now let's talk about why. If you remember a couple of SYCOs ago, okay, we were in Alaska, we talked about shrinkage of fabrics when we did our wool or our flannel presentation. Now, quilting cotton shrinks between 3 and 5% when you wash it and dry it, okay? If you think about a pre-cut, you're going to grab a jelly roll, okay? If you think about a pre-cut, when you roll out a piece of fabric, your fabric shrinks much more edge to edge than it does selvage to selvage, okay? Now, if you think about a pre-cut, it is cut edge to edge like this on a machine. So if you were to starch a pre-cut, it's going to unevenly shrink. So now you have a 2.5 inch strip set that is now, 2 1/4 here, 2 3/8 here, 2 and whatever it is, okay? So it will not shrink evenly. Now, we want to avoid that, right? So we're not going to use it on a pre-cut. So let's talk about the process of doing your starching. So let's say you get a fat quarter bundle from, like, on a Saturday night live on YouTube, okay? So you're going to get that fat quarter bundle, and you are going to grab it, you're going to lay it down, your fat quarter down, and you're going to spray it with Best Press. You can even then grab another one and lay it down on top, and another one on top, another one on top, and just spray a little spray on top of each one. Then you're going to grab your iron and just give it a quick little iron over the top of multiple layers to just dry up the starch that's going into your fabrics. And it was going to give it that little extra body that you need for your cutting. Now, I know that none of you have ever gotten 2 or 3 pieces of fabric and set them down and set your ruler on top of it, right? And then went to cut. And by the time you get to the end of your cut, it's, pulling your fabrics or distorting your fabrics a little bit. I know nobody's ever done that here, right? One, if it does that, you should have bought new rotary blades a long time ago. And 2, you should have pre-starched your fabric, okay? So, what'd you say?
Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. Last night when we sold those, okay? You should have done that. Now, when you put on a spray starch, what it's going to do is it basically firms up the fibers of the fabric to where you do not have that stretching. Now, why is this good? One, it's going to give you more accurate cutting, especially if you're doing smaller pieces. It's also going to help you, in Leslie Ryan's video, she had some really small pieces you're using for like the center of that butterfly, okay? If you pre-starch that, your cutting and your piecing of that is not going to have any stretch in it, especially when you're working with something that's on the bias, okay? So it does make a big difference in what you're doing when you're doing your cutting and your piecing.
And also, we've gotten comments recently on some of our YouTube videos where they're like, your blocks come out so much more crisp than mine. It's like, because we baptize ours in starch.
Right? You're going to starch it, okay? So, starch, if you look on the website, okay, they come in all different scents. They have an unscented as well as every different flavor. Lemon citrus or citrus lemon. Lemon Fresh is the #1 seller. We sold these also at E.E. Shank a couple weeks ago, and you can get them on the website. Now, moving to the next starch. Okay, so this is the first one. Everybody, I want you to just visualize this right here, okay? Okay, just look at that. We're going to the next one so you can see what the next one looks like. So this is Best Press. Now, next one, I'm going to lay down my piece here, and we are going to cut another strip off, or I guess square off, okay? So, you can see the difference in this one. Okay, it is much more pliable. Obviously, you're not talking about a huge difference in Like, it's hard to see on camera, but you're going to see it as we progress. Okay, so next up, whoops. Next up, we've got, which one is that? There it is. Quilting and crafting spray. So this is a fairly new product in the quilting industry. Like the last couple of years, this has come out, okay? So it's designed specifically for the quilting and crafting fabrics. It provides a medium level of stiffness, helping with precise cuts and seams, and works well on delicate fabrics without leaving residue or buildup, okay? Now, let's talk about this. Okay, this is the quilters and crafting spray that we're talking about. Pros and cons.
It's also the same for all mid-weight.
Yeah.
Best press
Okay.
for all lightweights.
So, best press, we've done, it's a light hold. Quilting and crafting spray is a medium hold. Okay, now, let's look at this. Okay, demo time. So I'm going to set this down right here. Okay? I'm going to take it. It's got a little open thing on it. Okay, and I'm going to give it a spray on my fabric. I'm going to grab my iron.
You're supposed to just leave it, but
Nobody ever leaves it, let's just face it. I'm going to grab my iron and I'm going to give it a press. You're mostly doing that just to dry it, okay? You're going to give it a press, like that. And, let me change the cameras here. I don't know if you can tell the difference between best press
we'll show
and this.
Grab your best press.
Okay? It's just hard to show. Okay?
Well,
You can see, this is the one that is...
This is a really easy
This
way to
is
show 'em.
Quilter and Crafting Spray. This is Best Press. Okay?
I can show you one thing here. It's easy to show on
See
camera.
that? See that?
So put this here. Put that one there. We're going to go to camera 3.
So this is Best Press.
Okay. See that? Okay. And then this one here. I'll do a double press like the other one. One just folds directly
that?
over. One does not.
Okay.
It's
So
stiff.
it gives it a medium hold. Now let's talk about pros and cons. So apparently there's a whole like an environmental thing that people don't like to use aerosol. That's like the only con that anybody's ever
It
said
also
about this.
comes in a non-aerosol, but
So that's like, I guess, one of the things. Anyways, here's the downsides for me. They only have 1 scent. It's a good scent, but there's only one. Okay. Now, this right here is where we've talked about light hold, medium hold. Now, this is your medium hold. Now, let's talk about the difference between what you're going to use this and this for. We're going to talk about that in 1 second. We're going to go Tarot Magic, and then we're going to do the comparison between the three to talk about what you're going to use each one for a little bit differently. Okay? So, let's go to our next one here. We're going to talk about, oops, wrong one again. Tarot Magic. Now, guys, Tarot Magic is, can anybody guess what the lady's name was that created Tarot Magic? Terry. So Terry made her magic spray that she decided to come out with to show her friends. Now, Tarot Magic, and I wish you could hold this, okay? But Tarot Magic, you spray on your fabrics, you apply it, and you basically soak your fabrics in this, okay? So you're going to like set it in your kitchen sink, and you're going to spray it down until it absorbs. Then you're going to let it dry. When you do that, it's going to basically curl up your fabrics a little bit like this. Okay, you see how these are like, it didn't shrink, it just curled them. At the point that you curl them, you're going to take them, so like this one right here, I'll show you this one. This one is curled up. You're going to take them, and you're going to moisten them again. So this is after they've already dried. This is like a 20-minute process. And I sprayed these last weekend, and I haven't ironed them yet. So you're going to take these, and you're going to moisten them with a either water or starch. It doesn't make a difference. You just need to moisten them a little bit. You're going to take your iron. You're going to iron them. This little edge is tucked down. Okay. And what you get as a result, guys, is a paper stiff. I'm trying to show you the difference in this. Like, listen. You guys hear that? Like,
you
it
got
sounds
all
like
the
a
thing.
paper stiff version of a starch. Okay. Now, why use this? Okay. Let's talk about the differences between why we're going to use and what you're going to use these for. Now, can anybody think what you'd use this for?
I use it so you can get.
We make for making fabric journals, absolutely. Okay, I've seen people use the. I'll get to that in a second. Use it.
Piecing becomes a lot.
Piecing becomes next. Okay, Georgia, nailed it on the head. Applique. Okay.
What?
I see people that get their fabrics. Okay, they mark their design on them, and then they're going like this with a pair of scissors trying to cut them out. Now imagine doing that with this.
Cutting on paper.
It's like cutting on paper. Okay. Lampshades, Tangle says lampshades, exactly. Okay, no, applique. Okay, it's huge for applique.
You guys have no idea what.
What's
the
another
lampshade
thing
market
that
is.
you're a quilter? Someone finds out you're a quilter. Someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, could you make me a quilt?" You're like, "Sure." They're like, "Okay, yeah, my daughter has a bunch of volleyball uniforms. I want you to make a T-shirt quilt." Okay, the dreaded T-shirt quilt. Now, what you're gonna do? You're going to take Terrio Magic. You're gonna get those shirts. You're gonna spray them on the shirts and pre-treat them. Then you're going to iron them, and they're going to turn stiff like this. You've now just taken the need to back everything in a stabilizer or in a interfacing and eliminated it because your t-shirts are now sewable without having to do that.
Polyester.
Okay? Obviously, unless they're polyester. Okay? So, yes.
How does that work with washing?
Great question. So the way that it works with washing is that this is... I'm going to get to that right now. Let me show you. So let's talk about them. The way that it works with washing. Okay? So Best Press is a light stiffness spray. Crafting and quilting spray is medium, and Terrio Magic is heavy. Scent options, we have scent options with Best Press. The other ones are just their normal scents. Residue, there's no residue on any of them, but Terrio Magic is washable. So this right here, you're going to use this for all different kinds of applications that you're not going... Obviously, you could use this for little like clutch bags. You could use this for t-shirt quilts. You could use this for... adding a little body to anything, but it is going to wash out when you do wash it. So, is this going to replace By Annie or Timtex or Bozel? No, it's not. But is it going to replace needing to use interfacing and needing to use... if you look on her website, okay, she actually shows a video where she gets a t-shirt and she treats the t-shirt, lets it dry, irons it, and then hoops it in an embroidery machine and embroiders it without using any kind of a stabilizer, okay? Like it makes a huge difference in what you're able to do. Go back and their little story here. We were in Houston, Texas at Quilt Market like 2 years ago. And I'm walking past the booth. It's the last day. And anybody that's been there a while, like if they're brand new, they're hungry. They're going out there and they're like pulling people into their booth. And this guy's just standing in his booth. I'm walking past and he's like, "Hey, you seen our product?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like everybody's seen this product in every quilt store. It's there. It's there, right?" I'm walking past, like, "Well, do you know how it works?" So I stopped, and I'm like, "No, let's see it." And he shows me the demo that I just showed you.
Okay.
Yeah, all right, show me. So he shows me the demo that I just showed you, and then he goes, "People, you'll see if you walk into your local quilt store, this will be sitting on a shelf and it'll have dust on top, okay? Because people don't know how to use it. They think it's a starch. It's a little bit more money than the other. Like this one, this bottle's $10, this bottle's $15. So they walk over, see the two, and they pick up Best Press, okay? It is not a spray starch like Best Press. It is the next level to that, to add that extra level of stiffness. And so when I was watching that demo with him there in Houston, he shows me this fabric, right? He says, "Okay, this is the difference between, nothing and, our product, right? This is one treatment." He said, if you take this again and you treat this again, so it's dry now, I've ironed it, and I spray it again with this, and I let it dry, and I iron it again, it's the same difference between this piece and this piece as this piece and a second treatment would be. Like, it gets to the point where it looks like a piece of cardboard. It is stiff, okay? I see people take these and make, like, the quilted postcards and only use fabric. Like, they don't add any paper to it. They take this, they write on them, they mail them, and they're a piece of fabric that is stiff, okay? So it's a big difference between what you're able to do. Again, here's the sheet on it. And it if you look at the uses and use cases, general quilting for Best Press, quilting and crafting spray is for precision cutting and crafting, and then underneath our little picture there. Oh, it didn't pull up. What the heck? My thing, like, every once in a while does this. So the other one, it's going to say applique. Like,
well, you can use them however you
use
want.
Use it however you want, but on appliques and things like that is a huge difference on what you're able to do. Okay? You can see. I mean, look at this. Okay? So, click the next slide there. One more. I guess it's fine. Okay, this is my last slide. Here, you go back. This is my last slide. Oh, you shut it off. It's okay. So, I use this for all of my general piecing, okay? You're spraying this on there, you're doing your piecing, you're doing your cutting. This right here, you'll see in our YouTube videos. This is a fantastic product for when you have a finished block. So let's say I'm putting together, obviously these aren't pieced, it's just appliqued, but let's say this is a pieced block, or I'm having pieced rows that are going together. You take this and you spray it on your row, and it adds an extra level of stiffness to it. So you're going to take that, you're going to spray it on there, you're going to iron it, okay? And then from there, you have a stiff piece that you need to match up corners perfectly. You've added that extra stiffness where there is no pull.
You're already past the point of shrinkage and all that kind
Yes.
of stuff. Like, if it shrank one
Yes.
hair, it doesn't matter.
Yes. So it is a extra hold to that. And then obviously Terra Magic is not for your everyday sewing and quilting, because you're not going to spray it on there and then iron it off. You spray it on there, you have to let it dry, and then you can iron and use, okay?
And different reasons too, right? Like, a lot of the show quilts that you see at Quilt Market and all that were made with a Terra Magic like product.
Sure.
Stiff as can be, because it's if they're off by 1/16 of an inch, there's a problem, right?
So Carol says, people say that too much starch will gum up your needle. That is not true. I mean,
Yes.
so back in the day, people used to use corn starch. Think of that. Think of like a cornstarch slurry
And
on your
vodka.
quilt. Okay? That isn't the case. Back in the day too, people would have with starch and they would use vodka. Why? Because vodka is made with potatoes. Okay? I'm sure they are having quilting parties, right? Going home and starch some fabrics, starching away, right? So there, I bet you that was the case. That was
and needles came a long way.
Needles
starch
come a long way. Starch come a long way. So these right here are not going to gum up your fabrics. They're not going to gum up your needles. They're not going to hurt your machines. They are perfect and made for the quilting industry. Okay, so that is
and
Southern Ladies. I'm using Best Press right now and ironing right now. It works great. Literally, you're taking your fabric, you're laying it down, you're giving it a spray or two, you're grabbing your iron, and just like that, you start your fabrics. Like, it isn't something difficult. It takes no extra time, and it gives that little extra body to it. So
for those non-toxic, yes,
they're all non-toxic. So for those of you that have never used a starch, okay, this is the end of my presentation here, okay. For those of you that have never used a starch before, if you haven't used a Best Press, I invite you guys to stop and get one on the website and try it. Okay, Zach, post a link there. Get one on the website and try it. If you are a Best Press user, we have a bunch of new scents. Why don't you buy a new scent? Give that a try too, okay? If you're already a Best Press user and you haven't tried quilting and crafting spray, okay, get one of these. This is a game changer as like the next level to your Best Press. So if you already use Best Press, hop on and get one of these and give it a try, okay? If you are an applicator, you do t-shirt quilts, you do anything that takes a little bit more body to it, you do a lot of things on the bias, Terra Magic will literally change your life, okay? Grab this, give it a try, follow the instructions. This is the only one you have to let dry. That's all you got to remember. You're going to lay it there, you're going to spray it, you're going to let it dry, and then you're going to press, okay?
So a couple of questions about competitors. Flatter and Best Press are competitors.
Oh, great. So
Acorn and Best
let me
Press
talk
are
about that.
competitors.
So Flatter is not actually a starch, okay? Flatter is I just found this out. Flatter is a flattening spray, aka aromatic water. Okay?
It's a little more than that, but
It's not.
it is. But
It's not. I've studied this. It is water that you're spraying on there. It is not a starch. It literally says on there, we are not a starch. I like Flatter, okay? I enjoy Flatter. I like the smells, okay? But it is not going to give you the same body that a Best Press is going to give you, okay?
It's what is it? What is it called?
Flattening spray.
No. The other term for it, sheeting,
Something like that. So,
or shearing is
So,
what it
Best Press is industry like standard. It's one of the number ones. Now, guys, are there other starches out there? Absolutely. Are there ones you can buy at the grocery store? Absolutely. These ones are actually made for quilters. Okay? If you think about it in the industrial side of things, there are all kinds of industrial starches. There are ones they're using for dry cleans, everything else. But it is
Acorn.
different. Okay?
Acorn would be like a in between quilting and crafting type spray and Best
Yep.
Press, but it's hyper concentrated on a seam.
Yes.
So they're
Which is different than what you're doing here as you are spraying and giving it to the entire thing. So guys, that's my challenge for you guys. If you already use Best Press, get another scent. If you've never used it, grab one. If you already use Best Press, get one of these, give it a try, and you can see the difference between the Best Press and the quilting and crafting spray. And then if you do applique, if you're a member of the applique club, if you are cutting your own appliques, Terra Magic is a game changer. If you have a t-shirt quilt plan in the future, if you're doing little clutch bags, like little small coin purses and things, this adds that extra body, and it helps with any of your stretching, okay?
Well, and just coming in here with the closing a little bit, is that I had a friend of mine just recently that she told me, she's like, yeah, I feel like any tool, my friend squares up half square triangles using a square ruler. I'm like, dude, this gotta stop. So, well, this is how I've always done it. I'm like, yeah,
Post the pub links.
you've always used best press, let's say. That doesn't mean something else isn't out there that you might love more. Try it out.
Yep.
Worst case scenario, cost you $12, you use up the can, and you're like, I want to go back to my best press. That's the worst case scenario. It's like the Clearly Perfect Slide Trimmer Ruler.
Yep.
Except we never went back.
So, Cadger says, wait, there's an applique club. We'll post a link to all of our subscription clubs. You guys are missing out if you're not in that. Okay, guys, but there's the links to what is that?
Subscriptions.
There's the subscriptions. If you haven't gotten in on the subscriptions, we have an applique club. It's a lot of fun, guys. And you're going to get one of these. You're going to sign up for applique club. You're going to check out, okay? Anyone that is checking out over the next till Sunday night, okay? So if you're watching this video now or you're watching it Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, in the description of this video, we have the links to this, okay? You're going to click on the link. You're going to go on our website. You need to make sure to check out your So Yeah Club gift. Add it. It's the very first thing that pops up on the link that we have in the description when you're purchasing. You're going to add that to your cart, and then we have 20% off boutiques, 20% off solids, as well as 20% off starches today and tomorrow on our website just for being here. And if you check out that gift, you'll get the gift in your order, and it's a good one. You guys want to make sure you check that out.
And we got a couple people saying
Okay.
that they didn't get their orders from last night. We'll check on that.
They're still going out.
Invoices are still going out.
They're
I
still
think.
going out
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
this morning.
So,
Still early.
So guys, get a starch, get a boutique, get Leslie Ryan's quilt kit, and have a great weekend. Guys, we are off to our general conference for our church. Post the link to the website, and then we'll post a link to the conference for anyone that wants to watch
Which
that as
started 7 minutes ago.
well. Did it? What time is it? We late?
9:07. So we're
We're late.
hightailing out of here.
Okay, so
Carter, you got the website?
here comes what is that what you just posted?
Website.
There's the website, guys. Use the code SOYACLUB SYCO. Use the code SYCO to get to the website and use that at checkout for your 20% off. And then for anybody who would like to join us for our conference, which is giving you messages of Christ, there's the link to that. And that will be going on all day today and all day tomorrow. So hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining us for So Yeah Club Online. Guys, was it worth the $15 just for this one?
Well, let's see. If you buy like 3-4 yards of boutique, there's your money there.
Your free gift.
Your
alone.
free-
Your free gift alone is worth your we're not even telling what it is,
Price
but
of
it's worth
admission.
the price of admission, just gotta say. So let alone everything else that's coming out in the coming. And when we get our boutique line, you guys are going to get first dibs on that.
Yeah.
So
Well,
You'll
we're
get it as a
probably going to
member,
launch
okay?
it when we get shipping confirmation. We'll probably launch it.
we'll
as
launch
a
it, let you
pre-sale
guys,
for you guys.
do a
Something like that.
pre-sale, okay? So friends, thank you very much for joining us. Hope you guys take advantages of the sales and the new products, and hope that you get to watch conference this weekend. It's a great time. And with that, we're getting out of here, guys.
3, 2, 1, and we are
Do you have
out
that
of
up over
here.
there?